Hi everyone. Today I wanted to do a little bit of a mental health chat. So I do have a particular topic in mind, but I will probably vary a little bit from that throughout. I'm sorry right now. My nose is still quite runny, and I'm having some allergic reaction to something in my bed. One of my sheets or something has like cat something on it. I don't know, probably cat fur. And well, that's what I think because sometimes I put my face in a specific spot in my bed, and in the morning I get allergic reactions. Um, so yeah, I slept a little bit in diagonal, so I think that might be it. So I was thinking of mostly speaking about how um, sometimes um, not not the title is very generic. It's very general, but the topic of the life is more about like sometimes people expect you to be on top of your mental health when you're going through a crisis and to be perfectly doing everything you need to be doing, and they expect you to make all the right appointments and to see all the right people, and when you don't do that, a lot of shame and a lot of uh, things are put onto you, like if you're not doing everything correctly. I feel like there's a lot of pressure to achieve that, and what a lot of people don't realize is that when you're going through a crisis, that sometimes can affect your ability to reason and to do all those things. So I just want to talk about the fact that it's okay to not react how people expect you to, and to not be a perfect patient, if that makes sense. It's perfectly okay. There's nothing wrong about that, and you're not a bad person for not being the perfect patient. You do what you can, and I also want to talk about the fact that I get a lot of medical advice in here, and it's not that I don't appreciate the help. I do, but at the moment I'm doing so much just to stay alive and to eat, so my concerns aren't really there, and it tends to overwhelm me when people say, well, do this, do that, go see that person, etc. And it's really not that I don't appreciate it. I do appreciate that what people are trying to do. I know you're just trying to push me, but right now is not the moment where I can do those things. And so um I even struggle with food at the moment. So I'm more worried about what I'm gonna eat the rest of the week than I am about seeing X doctor in X amount of time, if that makes sense. So I just want to make sure we're gentle with everyone. Oh, I got someone on like my stream right there. So some people aren't really a fan of what I'm saying right now, but yeah, it's okay. But I just want to make sure we're gentle with each other about this, because I'm not gonna be the perfect patient who does everything they're told. Like, my mind is not in the space to do that at the moment. And I want to welcome in everyone who's lurking right now. Feel free to talk. We're doing a little talk about mental health at the moment. I apologize. I might sneeze quite a bit during this stream. I woke up very sneezy, and yeah, so yeah. Um, So I just want to make sure, even society itself puts a lot of pressure. You have to be always on top of your game, and you have to do all the self care. But realistically, self care is a huge privilege. A lot of people don't have the resources or the time to do that. And even if it's just emotional work, like some people at the end of their day are completely overwhelmed and tired and don't have the mental bandwidth to do that emotional work. And that's a thing we don't take into account a lot of the time. Hey, welcome in. How are you doing? And so yeah, I just think that often we tend to maybe disregard people a little bit and dismiss them when they're not doing what we expect them to do in that front. Like if they don't take care of themselves the way we want them to do it. And so yeah, I just want people to. Okay, I'm sorry. There's gonna be drilling noises right now because a company is installing something in the building, so I'm sorry about that. They've been doing that since 7 in the morning, so yeah, I am sorry about that. Hopefully um do they don't do that all the time, but yeah, I don't remember what I was gonna say. But yeah, like you're expected. Just getting a quick bite to eat. Wanted to say hello. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Um, but yeah, a lot of the time, you're expected to do all your skincare routine and all the stuff and the hair care and the everything, and to keep on top of every little detail. And if you don't do that, then either you're lazy or you're not taking good care of yourself enough. And after that, then you get a lot of pressure and a lot of BS because people don't think you're doing what you're supposed to do. So, yeah, I just wanted to talk about the fact that self care can have different forms, but it's also okay sometimes not to do it because it does take a lot of your mental space. Just like to keep on top of that game, even for a neurodivergent person, even keeping up with your hygiene sometimes is a bit uh, difficult because your brain just isn't in that space sometimes, and it's something we don't talk about and that we put a lot of shame on people about, because obviously hygiene is very important, but for us neurodivergent folks, it's a struggle. Like sometimes I don't take a bath and I just stay lazy all day and do nothing, and people are like, "What's wrong with you? Why don't you just take a bath?" Well, just getting up and thinking about using the soap and thinking about every little detail of what's gonna happen. Like, I have to get up, I have to turn on the water, I have to make sure it's the right temperature, I have to adjust it, I have to get into it, I have to use the soap, then I have to scrub myself, and then I have to do this and then to do that. It's just that our brains can sometimes decompose an event like this in smaller chunks, and it makes it really overwhelming. And like, yeah, and people say, well, just get in the bathtub then, and everything will happen by itself. But it's the sometimes just the initial getting up is the problem, and you don't seem to be able to do that. Right now, I'm drinking some herbal tea, which I don't know exactly what flavor it is. It's called Mother's Little Helper, but it was contaminated by my strawberry kiwi tea for some reason. Some of it might have still be in the mug or something, or in the little tea ball I have here. Because right now it's just tasting like strawberry kiwi. Which is okay. I still like the strawberry kiwi, so I'm not complaining about that. But I wish I would have the right tea right now. Hi, Don. How are you? Did you sleep good? I hope you slept well, dear. So, yeah, I was talking about neurodivergent struggles, and I don't know if you guys sometimes struggle with that, like with daily routines and having to do specific chores or having to do specific things like taking a bath and everything. So I was talking a little bit about that just now. But yeah, I was talking about the fact that sometimes your brain does this thing where just like doing a simple thing like putting things away is like, oh, first I have to make space, first I have to dust, after that I have to take all the. Now, for example, if you're organizing books, well, you'd have to dust and then you'd have to take all the books and classify them, and then you'd have to put them on the shelf, and then you'd have to do, you know, sometimes our brain tend to break it down in smaller pieces, and it makes it really overwhelming because you're not just organizing a bookshelf, you're doing a whole thing. uh, so yeah, it is a little bit overwhelming. That's not something we talk about, but it also means that when we have to take care of ourselves, if we have to do something for our mental health, for example, it takes a lot of space in our mind. And yeah, instead of just being a self-care act, it becomes this whole ordeal where you have to um, consider every little detail about yourself, and it's too much sometimes. So yeah, wish I just wish we normalized being a little less um, on top of our game all the time, because I'm certainly not. Right now, I'm even struggling to stay afloat and to keep myself fed. So, you know, and I'm struggling a little less than I used to in the past, which is a great achievement. I make a little bit more money now than I used to, but it's still the fact that having food insecurities all the time is very stressful. Like, I have my last little bit of rice right now, and I have to figure out a way to make money basically, because I have to do groceries again, and I also have to pay a big bill. So, you know, even if I received donations recently, that doesn't take long to be all spent, because a part of that went into groceries, but all the rest went into that large bill I have to pay, which is like becoming very urgent right now, because I got a notice letter and everything. So yeah, right now while I'm keeping on top of that, I kind of struggle keeping on top of myself, if that makes sense. I don't know if I'm making sense right now, but yeah, it's kind of overwhelming having to take care of different spheres of life when you're a neurodivergent person, especially, or if you're struggling with mental health. So yeah, just like, I wish we would normalize that, and we would understand that and give ourselves and others some grace about it. So yeah. So let me know what's going on with you guys. How are you feeling really? How are you taking care of yourselves? Because right now I'm kind of the only person talking really, so I want to leave some space for you all to talk as well. um so I don't want to be that person who has a self-talk for 3 hours like I sometimes do. I also want to leave space for my viewers and my subscribers. So Right now, I'm sorry, I'm kind of playing with my straw. I apologize for the noise. It's very distracting. But yeah, right now having a really good tea contaminated with strawberry kiwi is what I do to keep on top of things. Hi, welcome in. How are you doing, Nana Michelle? Happy to see you here this morning. We had a little bit of a mental health chat. Okay, the noise didn't bother you. That's okay. Sometimes I don't know if things are gonna get picked up by the microphone or not. The other day I was packaging orders and putting labels on them on camera, and I was peeling tape and it was making a bunch of infernal noise. So that was not good for the viewers because the mic really picked that up and it was intense. So yeah. So what are you up to? Still working on things, Don? I know you're working on a shawl. So is that progressing? You still working on that? I forgot the name of the pattern again, but I just know it's really pretty. Oh, you're not awake yet. I get that. I'm only half awake, just sipping my tea comfortably. And after that, I'm gonna have to change that tea. Probably gonna do peppermint. Actually, I'm just gonna heat up the water real quick. I'll be right back. We're gonna go with some holiday tea right now because this is the only thing I had ready. So, some spicy plum tea. Quite good. You just woke up, couldn't sleep last night. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Some coffee. That is good. I'm phone lying with one eye open. Your phone. You're a phone. 5 hours. Yeah, I slept like maybe about that amount too because my roommate woke me up at like 5 6 a.m. And I usually go to sleep around midnight or 1 p.m. 1 a.m. Sorry, 1 a.m. So yeah, my roommate woke me up, didn't have a lot of sleep either, and right now I'm sorry for that. But yeah, right now it's a struggle, but I do have to work quite a bit today. So we're gonna figure that out. We're gonna do what we can because that's what we're here for. And I have lovely cold water here. Oh, yeah, keeping hydrated helps with mental health apparently because it hydrates your whole body and your brain needs that for some reason. I don't know the science of it. Or right now it's so snowy. Um, they announced a feet of snow and 90 kilometers winds. So I'm gonna be buried in a mountain of snow really soon. Right now, we have a bunch of trucks. snow trucks outside gathering snow. And the other one there is waiting for, the truck in which it's spilling all its snow. So it's waiting for the new one to pick up because the previous one is full. You always have, like in Montreal, when they gather the snow, you always have like a bunch of trucks following each other. So the first one is full, and it leaves, to go put the snow somewhere else. And then the next one comes in until all of them are full. So that's how they gather snow in here. 5-6 hours your normal sleep. I've been doing a lot of 12 hours sleep because I'm a little bit burnt out. Yeah, the heart collector Shaw. Oh, so you got quite a bit of progress then if you did that all night, which is good. So, gonna have to stitch the eyes on a bat right now. I got so many orders for these guys. I'm just gonna talk about this really quickly because I don't want to be really focusing on that today. But yeah, right now I'm just gonna sew details on a bat face and hope it looks somewhat symmetric. Anyway, I want it to look good. It is the point. And so yeah, today the nose is misbehaving, and so yeah, my sleep was a little bit impaired by those people installing some internet thingy. I don't quite know. I don't know if they are installing something for a neighbor or something, but it's in this block and it's really noisy, and they've been drilling holes since like 7 in the morning or something. Like, I don't know what they're doing, and it's a little bit scary. You usually sleep 3 or 4 hours at a time, then you take naps. I used to do that. Yeah, I have insomnia, so a lot of the time, I don't get the sleep I need, and then I stay awake, and then I stay awake for a very long time, and I usually at some point I fall asleep, and then I stay asleep for like the whole rest of the day. So that's no good, but that's how it is sometimes. That's just what happens. Mm. The best thing though is when you get like a full day to do nothing and to rest, even if you're not asleep. I like having whole days to do nothing. Sometimes it happens. Most of the time I work though, but I used to have that before I did crochet work. Um, I used to have full days of just sitting on the couch and contemplating life, and that was really good for my mental health. I was more relaxed. Back then, I was in a way better shape than I am. I sometimes feel like maybe I don't really have the time to think or to do anything. So, yeah, and it's a struggle sometimes. I don't want to get too emotional right now, sorry. But yeah. it was really good because I had all the time I needed to do some like self reflection and everything. Now I don't really like, even if I crochet, I cannot really self reflect that much because I have to stay on top of the pattern and to pay attention to what I'm doing because I really struggle with fine motor skills and whatnot, and memory and numbers. So because of that, sometimes, yeah, even crocheting can be a little bit, um, it can be tiring for your mind. Like, people see it as this fun activity that is easy and nothing, but I'm always thinking and focusing. And which is why a lot of the time when you're live, you can just like make a bunch of mistakes. And like, I don't know if other people are like this also. Dawn, you can tell me. But yeah, sometimes when I'm live, I just end up paying attention to what I'm saying and not really like, I'm still crocheting, but I'm making like 10 mistakes in a row. So, and I keep frogging and starting over. So yeah, I don't know if that's common, but for me, it's what happens. So yeah. For sure, I try to sleep more than I do, but my brain just won't let me. The same happens to me. It seems like my body wants to sleep, but my brain is fighting it. But sometimes it's okay. We don't have to always have our perfect hours of sleep. We do what we can, and sometimes it's just okay to not um, be on top of that stuff, which was today's stream subject. I will look at that in just a second. I need to cut this thread, but yeah, I'm curious to see, so I will see that. The struggle for sleep is real. Hi, Amy, welcome. Hi, Granny G. Right now, my nose is giving up his struggle for life. And I'm just gonna check real quick the picture Dawn sent me of her shawl. Oh wow, that's very beautiful. And it's progressing quite well too. Do you mind showing that? Do you mind me showing that real quick, Dawn? Because if you prefer, I won't. But it's really pretty. -10 Fahrenheit. That's cold. Here it's not so cold, but we're getting a lot of snow and a lot of wind right now, so it's getting frosty. Here for a little while while Hannah is visiting. Well, that's awesome. I hope you have a nice day. Thank you for stopping by. But yeah, that is a really good shawl, Don. It's a disappearing picture though, so if I stop clicking on it, I won't be able to see it again. So, um, okay. Um, I'm just having a blank right now. I'm doing a little bit better than I was with my concussion, and so I still have a bit of brain fog and some pain, but I'm not so sensitive to light right now, which is a good thing. Which mean I can read and I can stream and I can crochet, so that's good. Last night I just wanted to read again The Lord of the Rings, but I couldn't bring myself to it. I kept just watching reels and kind of fell into a spiral of watching stuff, mostly kittens videos, to be honest with you. I've been watching a lot of cats lately. Such adorable little guys purring their hearts out, basically. You just made a new video. That's cool. I'll go see that soon. And yeah, yesterday I worked a bunch more on Nessa's knots, um, blood drip scarf. This isn't gonna be a crochet and chat, so I'm just gonna show it to you real quick. But look, it's progressing quite nicely at the moment. Just showing you. I'm halfway through right now, so I have to do 80 rows of the green and then picking back up the purple. So this is where that's at right now. And it's using floats in the back. You could also crochet over that. But yeah, I was just not feeling that, so I just decided to go with floats instead. If I were to sell this though, I would probably crochet a backing or something like that. But right now I like it the way it is, so um okay, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to get that sewn on at the right spot right now. So, so yeah, today's chat is brought to you by the struggles we often have when we're working on our mental health. And sometimes we can't always be doing that 100%. Sometimes we have days or even like periods where it's a little bit more of a struggle, and instead of doing firm 100% work all the time, sometimes we just take a step back and we don't have the energy to necessarily take care of ourselves as much. And I want to normalize that and make sure people are not ashamed of themselves for that, and understand that it's okay basically, and it's also a big part of it. So okay, the eye is a little bit wonky there, but yeah, and that is a bat head basically. I still have to do the body. Yeah, it's a very cool scarf for sure. it is a very cool scarf, and I always love Vanessa's patterns. She's a very good designer. She has a bunch of scary looking things, a lot of coffin shaped items as well, and a lot of mesh things. So, yeah, all things that are within my palette, really. That's pretty much all I enjoy. Gothy things, Halloweeny things, coffin shapes, and things like that. And yeah, another thing that I wanted to talk about is, oh, right now I'm not remembering what it was. Give me a moment. Sometimes the memory is a tricky thing. For those who don't know that, I have memory problems because I have CPTSD, and yeah, it's basically a constant struggle to be remembering just even daily things. So I had the whole thing planned out to discuss today, but right now it's not coming to mind. Yeah. So okay, I'll be back. I'm just gonna get my water for my tea. This is helping me keep warm because today is a very cold, freezing day. Water is important. In tea, it is for sure, because if I were to drink this without water, it will be a little dry. Bye, Granny D. Thank you for stopping by. Okay, I have the little things here that I have to sew on. This is a nose. Yeah, a red nose on a bat. I know. That's quite silly, but yeah. Yeah, it does. It helps PTSD. And that's actually a very good point. It helps with PTSD and it helps anxiety. Bilateral stimulation is calming. And also they use that in therapy for those who have done EMDR, bilateral stimulation helps your brain process things, and it can be a little intense, but it can also bring you real comfort and bring you a little bit of peace sometimes when you need that. And I've done EMDR just a little bit, not in therapy, but I did self EMDR, and well, I knew how to do it because I've discussed it with therapists and whatnot. It's not like I'm doing this on my own, and I would also recommend really knowing what you're doing if you do that because yeah, it can re-traumatize you. It can be a little bit harsh sometimes. So yeah, I advise if you do that, make sure you've talked to a therapist or something. So I cannot recommend that you do this by yourself on yourself. but sometimes when you don't really have access to specific resources, because right here, EMDR with the therapist is quite expensive unless you get a referral or something. Like if I were to go in to see a psychiatrist without a doctor's referral, I don't. I struggle with that pronunciation. Sorry, but yeah, if you were to go in without the doctor's referral, my friend did it, and it was quite expensive for her. So yeah, and I assume in the U.S. it must be expensive as well. Because yeah, even in Canada we have free healthcare, but for private services we still have to pay, and the waiting lists are like super long. You get basically something like 2 to 3 years. I'm not sure. Sometimes it can be less. Sometimes it can be quite more. Yeah, that's cool that you can teach them to crochet. I bet that really helps. And I think that's awesome. Yeah, it helps me too. It's a little bit like a stim. Like neurodivergent people often stim, and crocheting can be a part of that because it's a very repetitive task, and it it stimulates your brain, your sensory needs. Which is, I'm autistic, so obviously I do quite a bit of that. Okay, sorry, I just have to figure out which row to sew those on. Okay, so it's row 4. Okay, row 4. But yeah, so yeah, it can act like a stim, and that not only regulates you, but yeah, it helps with anxiety, and it helps with emotional stuff, and also gives you something to keep your mind occupied. I know that for me, when I crochet, I have to be a lot more focused on that because I have dyscalculia. So for me, it's a lot of having to recount the same row like 20 times in a row. And sometimes it can be a little bit of a patience game as well because of that reason. And yeah, it can be frustrating a little bit, especially when you're dealing with stuff, but it kind of keeps your mind working, and it also allows you a bit of downtime. It can also be it can also be uh, self-care, to take a bit of time with yourself and crochet. And I know we cannot always take that time, but when we manage to, it's kind of just a little moment where you're at peace, even if a lot of stuff are going on around you. I'm sorry, I'm struggling with pronunciation at the moment, but yeah, like to me, it seems at least that even if the world is collapsing, for example, my crochet is still there, and it's a concrete thing, and it helps ground me a little bit. That's another thing that helps with mental health is staying grounded. Um, it gives you something concrete to touch, and to have, like, it's physically in your hands. And sometimes that can be good if you're having anxiety or other problems, if you're dissociating, for example. anything that grounds you in the moment. Like they do that one 5 4 3 2 1 exercise where they have you say 5 things you see, and then 5 things you feel, no, 5 things you hear, 5 things you feel, etc. And then you do that until you reach one. And yeah, you do five, and then you do 4 3 2 1. You count that many things you can see, uh, hear, feel. And you could do this differently. You could do it with smells, anything that is a sensory thing that you can concretely experience. And that helps bringing you back a little bit when you're dissociating, when you're anxious. If you're panicking about something, it can be good to bring you back in the moment. And I find that crochet kind of helps with that, because yeah, like I said, it's sensory feedback. You can feel the yarn between your fingers. um, you're actively manipulating an object. That's always good. So yeah, more crochet therapy. Okay, and we're gonna use that thread here to do the little nostrils. All pronunciation struggles right now. Nostrils. Yeah, yeah, yarn is definitely fun. Did you see the premiere Parfait Chunky neons? They came out with neon yarns. And I'm a little bit in love, not gonna lie, I kinda wanna buy them all. And I have ideas of what I do with them, even. I wanna make some of the zombie kitties with those. The I think I've showed them plenty on camera. Right now, I don't have one nearby, so I could just show you a photo of what I mean. Some of these would be so cute in blanket yarn. So the Parfait Chunky Neon, that would be great. They came out with like a pink, a yellow, orange, green, and purple, I think. I wish they had blue. Maybe that's to come. We don't know. We hope. We hope. But also, they have such nice selection of color that we don't really need that blue anyway. But they have other blues that aren't part of the neon collection that could definitely fit for that. And I kind of like, with sensory needs, I kind of like petting yarn like this. And I could spend hours doing that, just petting the yarn. You ordered some neons from Urshner's. Oh, yeah, it's still on back order, right? Because everyone went crazy as soon as it came out. And I don't even have any myself yet. And hopefully that will happen soon, because I've been wanting to get in on that one. But I think the premiere ones, the Parfait Chunky, are still in stock. I could be wrong because they announced it very recently, but yeah. Okay, so right now we have one ear. I love this pattern, it's really fun. Yeah, the little 3D nose. Um, okay. Now, hold on, I just gotta focus on where this goes. the Hirschner's yarn are just gonna be out of stock until the end of all out of stock, not stuck, out of stock in until the end of existence. Sorry, pronunciation again. Yeah, but I just feel like they keep pushing back the date as soon as they put them out. Very sad about that. Like they even have a blue. And blue neon is not quite a common thing when it comes to yarn. You usually kind of have to research it and get a blue from a different line that kind of resembles neon shades. I have one that is pretty close. This is Red Heart Comfort yarn. I don't know the exact colorway because I don't have the label anymore, but it's quite neon and I like this one. So I just have a big ball of that. Uh needs water. Mm. So yeah. Um so on the repetitive nature of crochet and how it helps stimming when you're neurodivergent, that's just one of the many things that is great along with sensory feedback. Um Yeah, also the colors. That's something we don't really talk about when it comes to neurodivergence. It doesn't get talked about as much, I feel like, but colors can be a huge part of sensory play. And a lot of autistic people, if they're sensitive to color, will often resort to beige, brown, and very very mild, not mild but like toned down colors, but other people are sensory seekers when it comes to color, and I am one of the sensory seeking ones. I like to have very bright neons. I like things to be lively and to be really intense. I do quite like gothy dark color schemes as well, just because it's my preference visually. But I don't know, I find neons and very bright colors to be so stimulating, and it's something that helps me with mental health as well. And I think it's fine, whatever floats your boat in terms of color, of course. But yeah, it's a very important component of that. Like for me, something that depresses me somehow is pastel colors. While I like them visually, find them a little bit understimulating for my taste, and this might not be the case for everyone. Some people have like might feel a lot of joy from pastel colors, which is not Morticia's case, unfortunately. She's not a fan of pastels. It's an unforgivable sin. But yeah, so yeah, I really like neon colors, bright colors, dark colors. I've been trying to get into earthy tones, but there's not a lot of color choices where I live. So when it comes to yarn, anyway, we have like one small aisle of yarn at Walmart, and then Michael's has maybe like two or three small aisles, which is better than Walmart. Don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna complain about that. But yeah, Montreal is not the best when it comes to yarn selection. Yeah, we accomplished this today. We made the head, everyone. That is great. So, um, yeah, what are everyone's favorite color schemes? This should be fun. So, I don't want to be talking out there by myself. So, yeah. What are your favorite color schemes? What do you like to use, work with, or what do you prefer? Um, what kind of colors is your home decor in? Things like that. You can see mine quite clearly. Everything is red here. I'm not obsessed with red, I promise. I might be lying a little bit right now. But yeah, I always like to know what people's favorite colors are. Right now, I'm just squishing the nose. It's fun sensorily. Neon and rainbow. Yeah, I love rainbow as well. Obnoxious things are awesome. I love that. Sometimes I'm torn between dressing all goth and just like wearing the brightest colors in the universe. And sometimes I compromise and I wear dark clothes and bright makeup. I do really crazy makeup at times. Maybe I still have photos of that. Let's see. Oh, this is quite gothy, but look at the brightness of those colors. So yeah, I do like to do it a little bit crazy with makeup. See? Obnoxious colors. That's awesome. I like that. I wanted to show you real quick the makeup I did when I saw Skinny Puppy in April. Just a little bit obnoxious, and look at the sweater I did. This sweater just has the most candy colors of all time. You had to wear all black, so now you like color. I get that. But yeah, when I went to see Skinny Puppy, I just had to wear the most colorful stuff ever. So I don't have photos of this sweater, I don't think. Um, Let me see. It's knit on the knitting machine. It's an Addy sweater. No, it doesn't seem like I have pictures of that. Yeah, I struggle with doing it as well. But yeah, I just like to play and experiment, but it's by no means clean when I do it. Hi Maritza, welcome. Like I will have to redo my eyeliner like 20 times. Well, I've not worn makeup in quite a long time either. And I think it's kind of a mental health thing as well as a sensory thing. My eyes are very sensitive, so whenever I put anything on my eyes at all, they water all day. So kind of try to avoid that as much as possible. But I sometimes I get a bubble and I enjoy doing my makeup. So we're discussing favorite colors right now, Maritza. What are your favorite colors? Like for anything, clothes, home decor, and to work with yarn. Right now we're at 1 hour. I don't know how long my stream will be today. I do have to go out later, which I completely uh, not fear, but I'm apprehensive about that due to the amount of snow there is outside. It's gonna be a quite hazardous ride going out there, but I need the food, so we're gonna have to do that. So yeah. And also, I have a lot of work today because the past few days I've been taking quite a few breaks. When I wasn't on stream, I've been taking breaks for my hands because of carpal tunnel flare ups. So I've been crocheting just a little bit each day to keep things going. But today I have to pick up the slack, and so yeah. So, what's everyone doing today? Do you have busy days ahead of you? You have to feed your piggies. Yeah, I hope you have a good day too. And I hope your piggies have a good day as well. Yeah. Someone is insulting me on Facebook right now. It's not even letting me tag the person who insulted me, so that is weird. Oh, neat, she blocked me. Oh, she's insulting me on gender for those who are wondering. So that is great. Sometimes, oh boy, Facebook sucks. And we report that with hate speech. Is that even a thing anymore? Yes, it is. All right. There you go. I'm sorry for the momentary lapse. We're just getting harassed on Facebook right now, so which happens once in a while when you're queer, so it's no big deal. Yeah. So anyway, I've been streaming for an hour now, and so yeah, I will let you all do your stuff. And thank you for coming in. This was an important chat for me, and I hope it helped some of you as well. So, yeah, thank you for joining, and thank you for keeping me company. And I hope you all have a good day, and that you're able to take care of yourself today, and that you're able to do the stuff you want to do. I hope at least a little bit able to catch a break. Sometimes streams are just good for that. You just watch a person talk, you just interact with a bunch of cool people, or you can even let that play in the background and be a little bit mindless for a while. So yeah, bye everyone. Thank you for being here. And yeah, okay, I keep repeating myself, so I'm gonna go now. Bye.